Do you ever find yourself wondering if you're putting aside enough for retirement or if your retirement investments will last as long as you do? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Clark Atterbury with Atterbury Investment Management, and in this video, I'm going to help you think through those important questions. Imagine for a moment you're charting a sailing course from point A to point B. You'll need to know where you're starting from, and you'll need to know where you're going. But it's not quite as simple as that, because along the way, there are a number of variables that are going to affect your journey. So imagine you're sailing from San Diego to Hawaii. Not only do you need to know your beginning and end point, but you need to know what are the winds going to be? What are the storms going to be? What are the currents going to be? What are the variables that I'll need to take into consideration if I want to have a good chance of arriving where I want to be at the time I want to be there? Charting a course to your desired retirement income goal is best approached the same way. What have you got so far? What's in your 401k, your 403b, your IRA, simple SEP retirement accounts of various descriptions? And how are they invested? What kind of rates of return are they realizing now and later, which has everything to do with how they're invested and the kind of choices you're making in your portfolios? What about taxes? What taxes are you likely to incur before retirement and after retirement? Are you contributing on an ongoing basis to your retirement accounts? How much are you contributing and how frequently are you contributing? If your employer is making matching contributions of some extent, you'll want to factor that into the equation too. What's your retirement goal? Maybe there's two of you and you would like to retire at first age, say 60, with an income of, say, $100,000 a year that will last both of your lifetimes. How much will you need to have accumulated to provide you with that income for that period of time? You'll need to know your current age, a estimated life expectancy. That's a tricky one, but you need to know how long you need the money to last. Other sources of income. Is there Social Security? Is there a pension, rental income, anything else like that? Another important variable is how much you want to have left in your accounts the day you draw your last breath. I've had a couple of clients actually say to me, the day I die, Clark, I want there to be nothing left in my account. Let's spend it all, but make it last, but make it all gone the day I die. However, if you're like most of our clients, you'd rather live off as much as possible off of the returns of the investments, and then in turn to leave as much as possible of the principal and the investments to your children, heirs, charity, or other worthy cause. Once you've gathered all this information, you have a couple of options. You can either figure it out yourself. There are a couple of do-it-yourself options. I've seen people enter all these variables into a spreadsheet like Excel and come up with some pretty impressive outputs, some idea of how their money's going to play out over time. The other do-it-yourself option is to go to a free online retirement planning calculator. I can't endorse any of them, and I want you to be careful with any information you give out to them. I've seen some ask for dates of birth, social security numbers, account numbers. You know better than to do that in this world of online fraud. But if you simply search Google for free online retirement planning calculator, you'll come up with a number of variables. As long as you're careful, it might give you some idea if you're on track or not. The other option is to work with a professional. If you have a trusted financial professional you work with already, ask them to help you figure this out. And if you don't, maybe you want to talk to us or another financial professional who can help you. Experience has its benefits. Working with a financial professional, I think, will get you better results than to do it yourself in most cases. This is not the first time we've done this. We're able to approach more complicated scenarios. We can take into consideration what if you were to sell your house some years down the road and downsize, or if you had an inheritance, any number of variables along the journey. What happens after the first person passes and you've got the survivor? What about long-term care? All kinds of real-world variables that we can help you think through. Let me show you now a few pages from a sample retirement planning analysis report we prepared. This is a hypothetical sample report for our fictitious Henry and Marion Jones. I want to reassure you we're not showing anybody's real information here. I'm going to go through these rather quickly. Keep in mind you can always pause the video if you want to see the details on the pages. This shows the input. This is all the variables we were talking about earlier. What's she got? What's he got? What other sources of income might they have? Retirement solutions. In this case, as you're going to see in a moment, these people are on track for retirement, so we don't need to change anything. In the real world, not everybody's on track, and this page shows a few simple solutions to get you back on track, such as what if I retired at a different age? What if I started Social Security sooner or later? What if I had a different life expectancy? Here's what everybody likes to see. How's my income going to play out over time? and how are my account balances going to play out over time. In real life, not everybody is always this fortunate to be on track, and sometimes the report will show us the account balances dropping off to actually run out of money while the clients are still alive or during their life expectancies, and then we need to come up with solutions as to what to do about it. And to show it to you a little differently numerically, and so forth and so on. So if knowing the answer as to how all this will play out for you would be useful to you, reach out to your professional or reach out to us. We offer our resources and expertise free of charge to all of our clients and to prospective clients with $100,000 or more in investable assets. I hope you understand we do have to have a minimum in place as we are a small, intimate practice, and we want to keep it that way so we can maintain the high level of service that we provide to our clients. With any plan, keep in mind that the output is dependent on the input. You've heard the expression garbage in, garbage out. Well, it certainly applies here. If you've got any variables off that you're entering into the equation, what comes out the back end is going to be misleading or maybe even harmful to you. Also, just like sailing from San Diego to Hawaii, in the real world, conditions are going to vary. So whether you do your own report or you work with professionals such as us to help you figure it out, I encourage you to reevaluate and recalculate, rechart your course periodically. If you'd like us to help you see if you're on track with your retirement investments, or if you'd just like a second opinion on your investment strategy, reach out to us. Bottom line is it's better to have a plan and know where you stand than it is to live with the stress of not knowing. Since 1993, we've worked with hundreds of families to manage their investments and work toward their financial goals. If we're a good fit, we'd love to serve your family too. Either way, I hope this video has been of help to you. If you leave a comment below, we'll get back to you, or click up above to visit our website, to schedule a time to talk, or to stay in touch on social media. Oh, before you go, please subscribe and click the notification bell if you'd like to be informed when we come out with new videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.